So there's been a lot of trades happening in the NHL recently, so we might as well do a video like this, accepting every trade until we win a Stanley Cup. We're going to be starting off with the 26th overall pick, certainly something we don't want here. Now I could go ahead and I could draft our team right here, and I could just draft a ton of rookies, and none of those rookies would get traded away, and then within 5 years we could probably win a Stanley Cup. We're not doing that. Nope, the CPU is going to handle all the drafting here. We're going to hope the CPU drafts me a good team, and hopefully it drafts me a team that we're not going to have to trade away within 20 minutes. But with our very first pick, we're going to be bringing Marty Necas to the team, and that's actually really ironic considering he was a player that was just recently traded. But we got Mark Stone, we have Owen Power, Wyatt Johnston, Kirill Marchenko, Joey Decord. We actually have a really good team here. I like the team we have here. However, I can almost guarantee none of these guys are going to be here within 2 seasons. Nope, we're going to be accepting every trade with this Philadelphia Flyers team, and we're going to have to win a Stanley Cup. Now I fully believe if I accepted every single trade and I didn't make any moves myself, it would probably be impossible for us to win a Stanley Cup. So I am going to be allowed to make some moves, but they can happen during the season. I'm only going to be allowed to make moves during the offseason, whether that's trades or free agent signings. I'm only going to be allowed to make moves for a 4-month period. After that, it's all up to the CPU. Whatever happens, happens, and hopefully we're not going to have to trade this entire team away. So there really isn't too much for us to do. We're just going to simulate up to the trade deadline, and we're going to hope that we don't lose every player on our team, but I can almost guarantee that's not going to happen. We're going to be losing absolutely everybody. So let's be 5-on-5 focused this season, simulate up to the trade deadline, but while we do that, a quick word from today's sponsor. So I want to give a massive shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. As we know, SeatGeek's the best place for getting tickets for your favorite sporting events and concerts. If you want to watch baseball, hockey, basketball, or even see a concert from time to time, SeatGeek's the place to do it. SeatGeek is going to be ranking every single ticket, so if you see green, you're getting a great deal. If you see red, not the greatest deal. So on top of SeatGeek being the best place to buy your tickets, I got a deal for you. If you use code SOTI at checkout, you're going to be getting $20 off your first order. So once again, I want to thank SeatGeek for sponsoring this video, and remember, code SOTI for $20 off your first order. Alright, we didn't even make it through a single day, but here we are. We're going to be accepting our first trade. It's going to be JT Compher over to the New York Rangers. We're going to be getting a 2nd and 5th rounder back. We do have to give up a 3rd rounder. Honestly, that's not the worst deal in the world though. We're getting rid of the JT Compher contract, and I'm not against that. And just 2 days later, Nemestikov's going to be moved out. We're going to have no players left, are we? Like, we're going to be running strictly rookies and strictly AHL players. Bukestad's gone next. This team is going to be in the utter trenches in just about a week. So we've already accepted 3 trades, and we just got through with the preseason. Like, we just finished the preseason, we've already traded 3 of our key guys away. Definitely not a great sign. So it was only a matter of time before we lost another key piece here. Blake Lizotte and a 3rd round pick is going to be sent over to the St. Louis Blues. We're getting a 2nd and 3rd rounder back. I'm going to have to do a lot of work during the offseason. Like, we're acquiring a ton of picks, but I don't think these picks are going to necessarily help us win, because we're going to trade for prospects, and then more than likely we're going to have to trade those prospects away. So I have to bring in players who are going to be so valuable, they're not going to be involved in trades. I also feel like I should mention this rule as well. When it comes to free agency, I'm not allowed to give anybody no trade clauses or no movement clauses. If I'm going to be signing a player, they still have to be eligible to be traded. This is a really pointless deal. We're swapping seconds. Like, what are we doing here? Well, at least it's a good year for rookies, because we have about 18 million draft picks. And are we getting a few more? Nope, we're going to be getting Trevor Van Riemsdyk. We're giving up a 4th and 7th rounder. Does this make sense for our team? We might as well check. Like, I'm pretty sure almost every trade we've done so far, we've traded forwards away. So we're going to be acquiring a defenseman here, and maybe it does make sense. Like, we have a 71 overall in the lineup. So Trevor Van Riemsdyk, you're actually a decent pickup for this team. So Philly's making a good move here. You'll love to see it. So you know what? Picking up a guy like Kyle Burrows honestly isn't the worst thing in the world, considering what our defensive situation looked like. So he's going to be joining the team. Surprisingly, Philly's not as bad as I thought they would be. I thought after trading all those forwards away, we were going to be really, really bad here. Okay, we're dead last in our division now. Okay, we're really bad. Now, this is a deal I certainly like. Getting rid of John Gabriel Pageau. We're going to be bringing in Joel Edmondson. Does Pageau have a modified no trade? For some reason, I believe he has a modified no trade. Yes, he does, but Chicago's still willing to take him on. Joel Edmondson's going to be joining the team, so we're losing another forward, but we are going to be freeing up some money in this deal. I don't hate it. I don't hate it whatsoever. Also, I'm making a new rule on the fly here, and I feel like this rule makes a lot of sense. After the trade deadline, I'm allowed to give out contract extensions, because if we're going to be trading for some of these players like Joel Edmondson, some of them I probably would want to keep around. Most of them probably not, but there's probably a handful. So would you really be surprised if I told you Philly was one of the worst teams in the entire league? We're currently sitting 28th with a 30-and-3 record. This team's not good at anything. We're not good offensively. We're bad defensively. This isn't much of a surprise though. When you trade most of your forward core away, it's not really much of a surprise that you can't really score. Mark Stone, you're definitely going to be one piece we're going to move in the future here. Do you have a no movement? Yes, you do. Okay. Mark Stone, I guess you're sticking around on this team, but I might be able to convince you to be traded away because we're going to be really bad. And would you want to stick on this team? Probably not. Marty Necas, 63 points. Josh Norris, 57. Wyatt Johnston, 55. So we do have some good young talent, and they are showing some great progression. Wyatt Johnston, 85 overall, 4 X factors. That's looking pretty solid for him. Goaltending wise, Joey Decourt has been pretty decent this season. I mean, a 911 and a 299 is not really that bad. The fact that we don't score in front of him, that's really what's hurting this team. But as we know, I'm not allowed to do any moves at the trade deadline here. I'm not going to do any selling. We're just going to simulate the rest of the season here, but we're going to give out some extensions first. All right, so there's a handful of guys that need some extensions here, and some of them are key pieces like Wyatt Johnston. Based on the season he's having, he's probably going to be looking for some money, and that's exactly what he's looking for. So we'll probably do 5.5 for the next 4 seasons. Actually, we can't do that. We do have to remember, we're not a great team right now, so players are going to want a bit more money. So 5.9 for the next 4 for Wyatt Johnston. That will keep him around. Ethan Bear, truthfully, I'm actually okay with you leaving. Cam York, I would like to keep you around. Where are you going to be looking for? 5.5. That's not the greatest deal in the world, but if you develop properly, 5.3 is not too bad. Voronkov, you're a great young player. I can always keep you around on a decent deal. $4 million is a bit expensive though. So how about we do 3.8 million? I mean, truthfully, we don't really have that many options on this team, so we might as well keep you around. Jordan Greenway, you're going to walk. Trevor Van Riemsdyk, you're going to walk. Joel Edmondson's going to walk. Kyle Burrows is going to walk here. I'll sign a couple of these younger guys when we get to the re-sign phase, but other than that, we got a majority of the important pieces locked down. All right, so the best thing that could possibly happen is we get the first overall pick here, because we weren't great by any means. 26th in the entire league, a 38-40-4 record. We were bad, and it's not much of a surprise here. We allow a lot of goals, and we don't score goals. Hence why the Philadelphia Flyers are one of the worst teams in the entire league. Mark Stone, I'm really hoping I can convince you of a trade, because I don't want to just ride out your contract. I don't want you to walk into free agency. I want to get something for you. Marty Necas, 77 points, not too bad. Wyatt Johnston, 69 points. Josh Norris, Voronkov, Marchenko. We have some decent young pieces here. Even Owen Power is a good young piece. However, building around these guys, that's going to be the difficult thing. Acquiring players and then immediately losing those players due to trades, it's not going to be easy for us. The LA Kings are Stanley Cup champions here. That's going to be the Philadelphia Flyers in hopefully 5 years. But who really knows? We could win the Stanley Cup next season, or it's going to take us another 10 years. But you know what? The first thing we have to worry about is what draft pick we're going to be getting. I would like to get top 5 here. We're going to be sticking with the 7th overall pick. You know what? I guess that's better than nothing. Just going to mention right now, the draft counts as the off season. So yeah, let's try to make a move here. Like, I would be okay with trading Wyatt Johnston away. Look at how much value Marty Necas has. Marty Necas, you will probably be traded over the offseason. I'm not going to lie. You're 93 overall. That's great and all that. But yeah, that's a lot of trade value. We're going to throw Wyatt Johnston in this deal. I think that will be enough to get the first overall pick, and it looks like it will be. Now, considering we're bringing a franchise potential player to the team, that trade was definitely worth it. Yeah, we lost a really great player in Wyatt Johnston, but we just got an 82 overall sniper. So yeah, I like that deal a lot for us. Now, on top of getting that franchise potential player, we're also walking away with a lowly potential offensive defenseman who's also a gem. This was a really good draft for us. The first pick was really good for us. Our last pick was really good. The 2 picks in between, we won't talk about those. So more than likely, we're going to be losing all these pieces right here. I would like to keep this young player around. Do they want a 2-way contract? Yes, they do. I was a little bit concerned because we did give this guy some time in the NHL, and I was thinking he might only want a 1-way contract. Other than that, everyone's going to be walking here. So we got through the re-sign phase, but now it's time to give out extensions. Marty Necas, you're only looking for a 1-year deal at $10 million. Now, we all saw your trade value. It is very tempting to trade you away. Like, your trade value is ridiculously high right now. I feel like we can get some good assets. Mark Stone, let's have a conversation. Like, realistically, would you be willing to waive your no trade clause? Like, would you be willing to go to a winning team? Yes, you would be. Okay, he's going to give us his list, and then we'll go from there. So it's probably only going to be 1 or 2 teams. How many teams is it? It's 1. He's willing to go to the Toronto Maple Leafs and only the Toronto Maple Leafs. But you know what? We can make it work. Now, who did the Toronto Maple Leafs have that would actually be interested in here? Shane Wright, Carter Yakimchuk. If we could pull off a deal and get both of you guys, I actually wouldn't hate that. 2 young players, neither of them have no movement clauses or anything. That's not too bad. I also don't mind Jamie Drysdale here. So maybe we do Jamie Drysdale and Shane Wright. Like, Mark Stone's got some decent value. We should be able to get both those guys. Can we walk away with 3 players here? Could we get all 3 of these young guys? You know what? I don't want to just spam young players. Like, I want some competent players that can play for us right now. A guy like Mason Appleton would be really good. Look at that contract. 3 years at $1.5 million. all 3 of these players from Mark Stone. I'm going to offer this package over. They're saying no. I do believe we have a couple draft picks. We made a lot of trades last season. Clearly, we have to have some draft picks. We have multiple thirds we can use, so I'll throw 2 third-rounders in this trade. Toronto's going to be accepting. That was a great move for us. Okay, I think trading Marty Necas actually makes a lot of sense here, considering how high his trade value is. Like, we could trade Marty Necas and bring in a guy like Celebrini. We could trade him away, bring in Mishkov. Those are 2 really good players. Even Tim Stützle. I would not be against Tim Stützle, and that's what we're going to do. Like, at least Tim Stützle's locked down for the next 6 seasons at $8.3 million. We'll trade Marty Necas away, and we'll also be able to get something else as well. Like, that's a really good deal for Tim Stützle. He's on a reasonable contract. Bring in Matthew Nyes as well. $4.5 million for the next 5 years. This is a good deal, and we might be able to get a little bit more. The only concern I really have heading into next season is I feel like we're going to end up trading a lot of our forwards away, and we're basically going to have no bottom 6, or we're not going to have any defensemen. So we're getting that deal done. We probably could have gotten a little bit more, but I don't know how much more we could have gotten. So we trade for Jamie Drysdale, but I want to keep Jamie Drysdale around. He's not really looking for an extension, but we can still keep him around. We'll do $5.8 million for the next 4 years. Jamie Drysdale, I'm hoping you turn to that superstar, and I believe you have the potential to. Mario Ferraro, more than likely you're going to walk here because you're going to look for $5 million. Maybe not. We could actually do this. I'll do $3.5 million for the next 2. That's actually a very reasonable deal. I wasn't expecting that. Jeremy Lauzon, we do $2 million or something, 2.3. Why are defensemen asking for reasonable deals right now? What's going on? I'm used to these guys asking for $9 million each. And then we'll finish it off with Ivan Rozhnachenko, 2 years at $1 million basically. Works for me. All right, so Trent Frederick, you're a stick on the ice legend. I don't know how long you're going to last on this team. I feel like somebody's going to offer a trade for you and you're not going to last too long with us. On top of bringing in Trent Frederick, Jake Evans honestly wouldn't be that bad. Ryan Donato, that could be the move. He's looking for a 3-year deal. 2.7 million is not too bad. Ryan Donato will bring you to the team. So 2.7 for the next 3, we can make that happen. And then Jordan Greenway, I know I didn't give you an extension, but I didn't realize you were only asking for like 1.8 million. So I can do 1.8 million for 2 seasons. Now to finish it all off, we do need a couple more defensemen here, but I'm not looking for any star players. I just need some guys that will play their role and we can bring them in on cheap contracts. Now who are those players going to be? Well, Scott Perunovich, St. Louis Blues legend, now New York Islanders legend. You'll join the team. It's a nice little 2x2 with you. And then we'll finish it off with one more defenseman. Ideally, we can probably bring a defensive defenseman to the team here, but I'm not really sure if we're going to have that option. I mean, Alex Saev, you're only 25 years old. Yeah, you're 79 overall, but I'm going to believe in your development, which you probably won't have, but you know what? I'm still going to believe in it. All right, thanks Ryan Donato. Really helping the team here. Mario Ferraro's going to be sticking around. Jordan Greenway's coming back. Jamie Drysdale's coming back. But Ryan Donato, why'd you have to do that to me? You know what? Not bringing Ryan Donato to the team worked out for us because we'll bring Bukestad in instead, and I'd rather have Bukestad. He was technically on this team last season. I don't know if he played any games for us because he got traded pretty early. But yeah, Bukestad's coming back to the team and will likely play only like 3 games for us. Okay, Bukestad, you're an even bigger L-mans. What is going on here? Why can we not sign free agents? Just give me one forward. I don't really care who it is at this point. Kerfoot, it might be you. I don't really want to do Kerfoot. I'd rather do somebody a little bit younger here, but it doesn't matter at this point. Brazeau, you're the guy I've been looking for. I'll give you a bit more than what you're looking for. 1.6 million. Please accept this. That's what he's going to be doing. Now, please stick around, because I can't guarantee you will. I mean, we also could bring Sean Corrali, and we actually have to bring extra forwards to the team in case somebody gets traded away, because we need to have a backup for the backup's backup. So Sam Steele, we actually need you as well. We basically have to give everyone one-way contracts. We just have to make sure that we have backups for the backup's backup. So in saying something like that, TJ Brody, I'm gonna have to give you 2.7 million. I need a backup. Up next is going to be Luke Kunin. I'll do 2.1 million. And I feel like with all of these deals right here, we should be ready to roll. I take it back. 2 more deals. Klim Kostin, I'm going to give you a 1-year deal. And then Drew O'Connor, I'll give you a 2-year deal. Now we're done with the moves. Just kidding. Lied again. Primu, I'm giving you a 1-year deal. So now that we've made all those deals, it's time to simulate the rest of the offseason and make a lot of trades. So a 2nd and 4th round is going to be sent over to Tampa. We're going to be getting Nick Waugh and a 4th round pick. Honestly, that's not the end of the world. I don't hate that deal right there. It's only a matter of time before a couple more deals come our way. Now it's going to be 2 2nd rounders for Pavel Zacha and a 3rd round pick. Thankfully, we gave out all those extensions earlier, because if we didn't give out those extensions, who knows if we would have been able to keep everyone around. Now the team's certainly looking a lot better here. Voronkov's up to an 86 overall. Tim Stützle's a 90. Our rookies an 82, Marchenko 87, Shane Wright an 84, Matthew Nyes an 85. We actually have a lot of forward depth here. The defense is in a great spot as well. The only concern I have is keeping all these players around, because you know for a fact within the first week we're going to be offered about 6 trades and we're going to be losing a handful of pieces. I mean, the best thing that can happen is we switch to buyers and then we just start acquiring a bunch of players and we don't have to trade players away. Last season we were considered sellers. That's why we were trading so many pieces away. If we're buyers this season, we shouldn't have to trade his mate players away, but who really knows what's going to happen here. Well. Isn't this interesting? Ryan Donato, I really want to decline this trade. So yeah, we could have gotten Ryan Donato, but now we're not. And instead, Nick Waugh has to be sent down. He's waivers eligible. Is he going to get claimed? I'm assuming he's getting claimed here. I want to double check if he got claimed. Ignore what our record is. Yeah, things aren't going well. So after we trade for Nick Waugh, we had to throw him on waivers, and now he's on the Anaheim Ducks. We traded for a guy who we had to throw on waivers. Yeah, that's not really good asset management right there. Call me Nico Harrison, because I have no clue what I'm doing. Now, Drew O'Connor, I believed in you. I thought you were going to be a stud for us. Now you're off to Montreal for a 5th round pick. I mean, granted, you were in the AHL, so it doesn't hurt us that much, but I don't want to be trading too many guys like him away. Next thing we know, we don't have a bottom 6 here, but does it really matter? We have a 17, 15, and 7 record. We are really bad. So after I said this team's been playing terrible, they went on a hot streak. And that's going to mean we have to trade 2 third-rounders away for Liljegren. Now, where does Liljegren fit on this team? I have no clue, but TJ Brody's being thrown on waivers. Personally, I'm okay with that. But yeah, we have a 30, 20, and 8 record right now. The boys are winning games, and we're currently 3rd in our division. So we could be making a postseason push. You know what? I think we got to relax here. I think the Metro division is just really bad. Because when you really think about our record, a 33, 22, and 8 record does not seem good. We're scoring goals here. We're not really keeping the puck out of our net. Luckily, we are currently sitting in a wild card spot, but I feel like our record just isn't really that good. Tim Stutzel, he's going to lead the way. He's got 65 points so far. Marchenko 57, Josh Norris 49. I'm a little bit disappointed with our rookies so far. Like, he's up to an 85 overall, but I was expecting more from him. I kind of thought he'd be better than this. He has franchise potential and everything, but he's kind of been a bit of a letdown. When it comes to the goaltending department, Joey Decord, 29 wins, 3 shots, a 915 to 281. He's been an absolute superstar. Now, how it's going to work with the trade deadline is I'm just going to kind of sit here for 10 minutes and see if we get offered any trades. I'm not going to be allowed to make any trades, but if somebody offers me a trade, I have to accept it. So yeah, I guess we'll see if we make a deal or not. So it looks like we finally got offered a trade here. Bystead, a 4th round pick, and Qualp are going to be sent over to the Anaheim Ducks. We're getting Michael Carcone, a 3rd and 4th rounder. At least we're not getting Nick Waugh in this deal. Because yeah, wouldn't that be tough? We trade for Nick Waugh, he gets put on waivers, Anaheim claims him, and then we trade for him again. Definitely wouldn't be worth it. So we got ourselves a big deal. Parzak and another young prospect are going to be sent over to the Dallas Stars. Teuvo Teravainen, a 5th and 7th rounder, are going to be acquired. I don't know how we're going to be able to afford players on this team, but we're going to find a way, or at least I hope we do. So the trade deadline is basically over for us. We're not going to make any moves here. Now we're going to simulate to the end of the season, and with the new acquisitions, we're going to go on a run. So with all the trades that went down during the season, this is what we're looking at. We have by far the best forward core in the entire league. When it comes to the defense, I want to say we have one of the best defensive cores in the entire league. However, the second pairing might be lacking a little bit here, but it's still not that bad. Then when it comes to goaltending, Joey Decord's still the man for us, 86 overall. There is a chance that we actually win the Stanley Cup this season. I don't really believe it's going to happen this season, but you know what? We have all the right pieces here. I guess we'll just see what happens. Like, I don't know. I just feel like winning in year number 2 after accepting all trades, it just seems way too soon for this team. The Philadelphia Flyers are going to have a strong finish to this season. A 48, 26, and 8 record. I was questioning this team. I don't question them anymore. The Philadelphia Flyers are here to win, and they're looking to win in year number 2. Tim Stutzel, Marchenko, Voronkov, Josh Norris, our young rookie in Tuominen, he's going to be picking up 40 goals and 17 helpers. He's got a lot of potential here, and I'm expecting him to do great things in the future. When it comes to goaltending, Joey Decord, 39 wins, 4 shots, a 916 to 278, and one thing that just crossed my mind is there's a handful of guys who are going to need extensions pretty quick. Like Marchenko, he's only under contract for 2 years, and that includes this season, so next season he needs a contract extension. We acquired a handful of guys in trades that are on multi-year deals. Shane Wright, he's going to need a deal pretty quick. He's going to be looking for an extension after this season. I don't know how we're going to be able to afford all these guys. We'll find a way though. Joey Decord, 39 wins, 4 shots, a 916 to 278. It all comes down to this. We got the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first round. Philly, don't let me down. So we got an old-fashioned rivalry matchup, the Philadelphia Flyers and Pittsburgh Penguins. Can we simulate game number 1 here? What are we doing? Okay, we're winning game 1. This seems way slower than normal. I don't know what it is, but we're splitting the first 2 games, moving into game number 3. In game number 3, we're winning that one. This is definitely slower. This is way slower than the last time I played. I don't really know what's going on. But no, this is slower. Like, this is standing out to me. We're going to take down the Pittsburgh Penguins, but I don't know what's going on here. So we took the Pittsburgh Penguins down to 5-game series. We're moving on to our next matchup. That's going to be the Carolina Hurricanes. Is Philly really going to win in season number 2? Because I'm going to be honest, I wasn't planning for that. I was thinking this was going to take a lot longer than this. Then again, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Like, we're just in the second round. We still have to win the second round, the conference finals, and the Stanley Cup final. I think I'm getting ahead of myself here. We're splitting the first 2 games, so we're going to be dropping 3 straight after that. This is why you shouldn't talk about winning Stanley Cups. Like, we've only won 5 games in the postseason, and now we have to win 3 in a row. So Philly, you got to step up in these big time moments. Malkin's going to be picking up the first goal of the game. Eric Hall is picking up the second goal of the game. And in the third period, Hall is picking up another one. Lundstrom's going to be picking up one. Cam York's going to pick up 1 goal for us, but 1 goal certainly isn't enough. We're following in a 5-game series. So right after I gassed this team up about how we could possibly win a Stanley Cup this season, yeah, we lost 4 straight. This is why I shouldn't talk. Now, I guess it's not like we lost to frauds or anything. The Carolina Hurricanes are going to be Stanley Cup champions. They were pretty dominant throughout the entire postseason. But what went wrong for us? Like, we were a great team, and then the second round happened. Okay, it's actually very simple. Our first line was atrocious. There we go. There's your answer. Tim Stützle, 4 points. You were the best player on this team, and you picked up 4 points from me, and Joey Daccord folded in the most important games. Alright, that was very simple. We know why we lost. So you remember how our last draft was incredible? Like, we just walked away with a ton of great prospects. That was fun. Yeah, that was a good time. Definitely didn't happen here. We had a handful of picks in the draft. We had 6 to be exact. We got 6 busts. Like, every single pick was a miss. Well, I don't know how we're going to do this, but Jamie Drysdale, are you willing to come back to this team? You want $12.4 million. We actually have enough money for you. So Jamie Drysdale, you will be returning. We're going to be looking at $11.5 million for the next 7 seasons. I'm actually perfectly fine with that. And I feel like through the amount of trades we made during last season, we should have enough forwards under contract. And that is 100% the case here. Like, we have so many forwards under contract, we don't have to worry about re-signing Klim Kostin or Carcone. When it comes to the defense, TJ Brody, you can walk here. Liljegren, more than likely you're going to be walking as well. $4.8 million, I'm not doing that. So a handful of pieces are walking, but none of them are super valuable to the team. I mean, I guess we should keep a goaltender around, and I think that goaltender is going to be Primu. We'll do 2 years at $900K. Alright, I completely forgot that I wasn't allowed to sign players to no movement clauses. And technically, I gave Jamie Drysdale no movement clause. So yeah, I don't know what we do about that. Alright, so Jamie Drysdale, you're going to be the exception to the rule. And ideally, we just win a Stanley Cup before that kicks in. Marchenko, I'm not giving you $11.7 million. That's just absurd. Voronkov, where are you going to be looking for here? 8.4. That's a bit too much. Shane Wright, please be the one reasonable player here. That's what I'm looking for. 6.8 million, but we're going to do less than that. Could we do 6.2? No, we cannot. How about 6.5? 6.5 you're pretty interested in, so Shane Wright's going to be sticking around. Voronkov, Marchenko, both you guys ought to be traded away. Pavel Zacha, maybe just move into a top 6 role. And for this price, why not? So with Pavel Zacha, we'll do 4.6 for the next 3 years. That's a really good deal. Meanwhile, Teuvo Teravainen, more than likely you're probably going to be walking here. I can't see us re-signing you. 3.8 is not the end of the world, but for a bottom 6 player, I don't really want to do it. Justin Brazeau, you're a healthy scratch for us last season, but I could see you playing a role for us in the future, so here's 1.8 million for 1 season. And then Greenway, Luke Kunin, you guys are probably going to walk. Scott Prunovich will walk. Alex Iev, you're probably going to walk as well. There's going to be a handful of guys leaving the team. Alright, so Marchenko, we're not going to be able to afford to keep you around here, so I'm going to trade you away, and we're going to pick up Seth Jarvis. He's on a more reasonable contract. Voronkov, you're going to be traded as well. We'll bring back Drew O'Connor to the team, as well as 2 third-round picks. I'm actually really surprised Montreal's accepting that, because I thought they would say they're not interested in 2 forwards, but I guess they are. So we're barely into the offseason here, and we're already being offered trades. Now we have to send a 3rd rounder and a medium star potential goaltender over to the Vancouver Canucks for a 3rd and 4th rounder. I'm not even trying to do trades right now. I'm just trying to sign scouts. Like, I'm going through and making sure we sign all of these scouts and all of these coaches. But yet I'm getting offered trades here. I'm not ready to accept trades quite yet. So let the trades commence. A 2nd rounder over to Carolina for 2 third-round picks. We are getting finessed in that deal. Like, that is just objectively a really bad deal. So the trades are going to continue. Now a 3rd rounder into prospects off to the Islanders. We're getting a 3rd and 5th rounder. Basically a nothing trade right there. Are we going to get another nothing trade? Basically, we're swapping picks with the Rangers. It's actually ridiculous how many picks we have for this upcoming season. We're picking up Connor Clifton in this deal. Why would we want this? Like, Anaheim, I get why you're offering it because you want to get rid of the Connor Clifton contract, but why would we want to accept it? Like, why would we be a team interested in Connor Clifton? Like, you could have offered that trade to any team in the league, but you offered it to us. Now we're bringing Cody Ceci. we have way too many defensemen. Like, we have 9 defensemen under contract now. So yeah, Cody Ceci, welcome to the team, I guess. I don't really know what you're going to do for us. Oh yeah, we need a new goaltender for the AHL now. That medium star potential goaltender that got traded, yeah, he was the AHL goalie. Now, we made a couple moves over the offseason, accepted a couple trades, but a majority of the forward core is looking the exact same. I mean, it's almost the exact same as last season, barring who's the healthy scratches. When it comes to the defense, that's basically the exact same, except Connor Clifton is going to be jumping into the lineup. What do I think about Connor Clifton playing some minutes for us? I'm not really too sure. I guess we're going to figure it out on the fly. Joey Daccord is still the starting goaltender, 87 overall. Who do we have as healthy scratches right now? Drew O'Connor, Trent Frederick, and then Cody Ceci's in the AHL. Barring what trades we get offered here, I could see us winning a Stanley Cup. I could also see us missing the playoffs because we trade away the entire bottom 6. It could really go either way. Basically, every season relies on what trades we're going to get offered. If we get offered a bunch of reasonable trades where we're not losing, I'm perfectly fine with it. However, if we have to trade our entire bottom 6 away for draft picks, that's not ideal for us. And this is the exact moment everything falls apart. Jeremy Lauzon, Luke Kunin, both of you are off to the Boston Bruins. We're getting 2 second-round picks. There goes our team. Our entire team's about to be traded away. We're only a couple games into the season. We called up Perunovic. Now Perunovic is being traded over to Boston. Like, I mean, at least we're getting valuable draft picks, but we're also losing players that we need. I was always worried about the bottom 6. Now I'm worried about the defense. Alex Sayev's now getting called up, so we're going to be rocking a 79 overall in the third pairing. Please don't trade another one of our defensemen away. I can't afford to trade another defenseman. Like, look, we just allowed 7 goals to the Colorado Avalanche. I was worried about the bottom 6 for the longest time. I should have been worried about the defense. Okay, this is just a really weird trade. Ville Husso. I mean, I guess you can join the team. Also, we're really good right now. A 36-15-7 record. I gotta take it all back. Cody Ceci and Alex Sayev are now being traded away. Who do we have left to play defense for us? I don't know why both of those guys are on the trade block. The CPU just decided we're going to put both of those guys on the trade block. So who are we going to be running now? It's going to be Jamie Drysdale, Owen Power, Mario Ferraro, Cam York. I'm going to have to sign this low elite potential player because we're basically desperate and we need him. And then we're going to have to run these 260 overall players. Our team just fell apart. The team is ruined. All right, so we're praying for an absolute miracle at this point. Philly's third in the entire league, a 37-17-8 record. But none of that means anything after that last trade. We lost Cody Ceci, we lost Alex Sayev, we have no defensemen left on this team. Here's what the scoring looks like. Tim Stutzel leading the way, Tuminen's doing his thing, Matthew Nye, Seth Jarvis, they've all been great. However, we gotta look at defensemen right now. So we have these 2 defensemen playing for us. One of them is a 69 overall, the other is a 65. I didn't think we would ever end up in that position. Joey Daccord, I got to give you a lot of credit. Also, is Ville Husso the backup? I guess he is. Ville Husso is the backup for us. I don't really care. I mean, truthfully, he's actually been really good for us. Look at those numbers. Joey Daccord, a 920 and a 245, 8 shutouts this season. I am very concerned moving forward. We don't have any defensemen here. We'll sit here for 10 minutes. Please don't offer me a trade in which I have to give up a defenseman. I would be fine with taking on Jared Spurgeon. Offer me Jared Spurgeon. I would accept that immediately. So I was talking about how I really wanted a defenseman. This wasn't the defenseman I really had in mind. Rasmus Ristolainen for a 2nd and 3rd round pick. We're getting a 4th and 5th rounder back on top of Ristolainen. But yeah, I was kind of hoping for more of a defensive defenseman and anyone other than Rasmus Ristolainen. Like Jared Spurgeon, that would be nice, but nope, we got Rasmus Ristolainen. Not really too sure how it's going to work. Like Brandon Carlo, that would be perfect. But nope, Rasmus Ristolainen. Alright, so besides the Rasmus Ristolainen deal, we haven't been offered anything. So we're leaving the trade deadline here. Ristolainen, I need you to play great defensive minutes for us. I need you to be a lockdown defenseman. I know that's an incredibly unreasonable ask. So the Philadelphia Flyers are 2nd in the entire league, a 49-23-10 record. This is the season we have to win. We got to win this season because next season's going to be a little questionable for the team. I mean, maybe not. If we make the right moves, we could actually be better next season because we'll trade for a couple defensemen over the offseason, and then we actually have some defensemen on this team because that's the one main problem right now. Joey Daccord, he's putting on an absolute masterclass this season. A Joey Daccord masterclass is the reason we're going to win the Stanley Cup here. We got the Pittsburgh Penguins in the 1st round. I need Daccord to keep on playing elite like this. Now, Joey Daccord's been absolutely dominating this season, and he was dominating up until the postseason, and everything is falling apart. We are about to get swept. We might as well have just gotten swept here. We're down 3-1 this series. We were down 3-0. Joey Daccord hasn't played bad in any of these games. Like, he wasn't the problem. No, the problem was the fact that we just decided, nah, we're not going to score any goals. Joey Daccord put up 9 shutouts during the regular season. We didn't even have anyone pick up 9 points. Did we even score 9 goals? We picked up exactly 9 goals. Ironically, one of them came from Rasmus Ristolainen, but we only scored 9 goals. That man picked up 9 shutouts in the regular season. He posted a 916 and a 236. You cannot ask him to do any more. His regular season numbers, incredible. Postseason, even better. But a 916 to 236, that's only good enough for 1 win. How does that work? The Philadelphia Flyers, complete and utter frauds. And we got some people leaving the team. But you know what? I'm okay with that, because clearly we have to shake things up here. Are we losing anyone that has a lot of value? Not really. But no, that really just happened. Like, how did we collapse like that? So the Colorado Avalanche are going to go on to win the Stanley Cup here, taking down the New Jersey Devils. But Philly's got to bounce back here. That was a disappointing loss in the first round. I think the team's a lot better than that. We got to figure something out here. And I think one thing that we desperately have to do over the offseason, we have to make sure we have 8 extra defensemen. We need so many extra defensemen on this team, it will make no sense. But we just need healthy scratches. We just need spare players. We need players that are going to be ready to step up. All right, now this is kind of disappointing. We got a really good prospect, Del Monte, 73 overall playmaker. I can almost guarantee he's going to get traded. Like, he's going to get moved here. But this next player, he is certainly not getting moved. No matter what happens, this player will not get moved. Or at least he's not going to get moved by the CPU trading for him. Because I'm going to trade him away myself. Chara is going to be traded away here, 63 overall, medium elite potential. I'm going to trade him before somebody offers a trade for him. And it looks like we're going to get multiple medium-elite potential players here. We're getting a medium-elite potential goaltender, but I feel like he's going to get traded away pretty quick. Now this hurts. This hurts quite a bit. We're going to be trading the 105th overall for a future 5th rounder in Andre Burakovsky. Now, normally I'd be absolutely hyped about getting Andre Burakovsky. However, his contract expires this season. So yeah, we're not going to bring him back. We don't have the cap space to afford him. So we are acquiring Andre Burakovsky, and we're not going to be able to re-sign him. Like, bro's literally just going to leave the team. Now, we had a lot of draft picks here. Unfortunately, none of them are really valuable other than the 2 guys I showed you. Del Monte, Chara, they're the most valuable pieces. Dackel, I believe he's a medium potential goaltender, so he's great. But after him, every other draft pick was not notable. Like, we're looking at AHL players, bottom 6 players, nothing super valuable. All right, so we actually have more cap space than I realized. I didn't think we had any here, but Andre Burakovsky, realistically, where you're looking for, you want 3.6 million. We have $13 million. We have to worry about these extensions we give out here because Tuminen does need an extension, and that man's going to look for an absolute bag. He's going to be looking for probably around $10 million. Outside of him, Cam York's going to have to get paid here. Mario Ferraro's going to have to get paid. Trent Frederick's going to have to get paid. There's going to be a handful of guys that are going to need deals. So when it comes to the players we re-signed here, we have to be careful on how much we're giving everybody. Jordan Greenway, 2.6 million. I'm not really a big fan of that. Drew O'Connor, I know for a fact we can sign you for pretty cheap. So yeah, we're going to keep you around on a multi-year deal. It might even be a 3-year deal. It's actually just going to be 2 years at $1 million. But even still, that's a fantastic deal. Teuvo Teravainen, you're looking for 2.8 million. Not too big of a fan of that one. Rasmus Ristolainen, you're going to walk. We are going to give this player his entry-level contract, 77 overall. Really hoping we don't have to trade him away. So yeah, I think we're going to be letting all these guys walk here. We'll sign some of these young players to 2-way contracts, but we're going to be losing a couple pieces. I mean, Ville Husso, he played some good backup minutes for me. I can do $1 million for 1 season. That's not too bad. So Tuminen's going to accept a really good deal, 8.8 for the next 6 seasons. So that's going to keep him around. And that's actually a way better price than what I thought it was going to be. On top of Tuminen, there's also a couple other guys, Cam York being one of them. What's he going to be looking for? $7 million for 1 season. I think I'll trade you away. I feel like we can get some decent assets for you. Mario Ferraro will probably trade you away. Yes, we are. I'm not going to give you that much money. I mean, you're an 85 overall. You're not too bad. You play some good minutes on this team. But I think I'm still... Actually, you know what? Mario Ferraro, I will keep you around. Like, if we can do in the $5 million range, I'd be happy. And you know what? We might get a really good deal done. We're going to do 5.7 million. We'll do 5.8. 5.8 is going to keep Mario Ferraro around. That's actually not too bad considering everything. When it comes to everybody else, it's really just going to be about who signs good deals. Trent Frederick, I don't think we can afford that. Ryan Donato, more than likely we're not going to be able to afford you. 2.9 million. I'd rather not do that. Mason Appleton, you're my guy. A stick on the ice legend. And this is why you're a stick on the ice legend. It's going to be 1.9 million for the next 2 seasons. So Mason Appleton's going to stick around. Brazo, we can't give you an extension yet. Ivan Roshnachenko, we could probably do a pretty cheap deal. So how about we do a 4-year deal at $900K? That works for me. So those are really the only guys we have to give extensions to. The goaltending situation situation's looking pretty good here. I'm liking what we're building here. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. It's going to be a little bit of a 3-team trade. Norris over to the Blue Jackets. We get Zutterland and a 2nd round pick. They're saying no to that. I'll throw in a couple picks in order to get that 2nd. Okay, I did not realize how many picks we have. Look at how many picks we have for 2028. That is ridiculous. So yeah, I'll give you one of these 3rd round picks as well as a 3rd round pick for 2029. Can I get that 2nd rounder? Yes, I can. I don't know why bother trading for a pick, because we don't need more picks here. Now, this is the trade I really want to get done. A 2nd rounder, Zutterland and Cam York over to the Buffalo Sabres. We bring in David Jiricek, $4.9 million for 3 years. That's a good deal. We also got Dalibor Dvorsky. We're going to take on Cardwell and Brindley just so we can make the contracts work. We're definitely going to have to throw more draft picks in, but you know what? We have a lot of draft picks. So here's Columbus' 2nd rounder, and I think we could be pretty close, and it looks like we are close. And you know what? Since I'm feeling nice, here's a 3rd round pick. Most of the time I would do a lucrative 7th rounder here, but we have so many draft picks, why not use them? So our forward core is basically set in stone. Same with the goaltending. What we're going to do now is sign a ridiculous amount of defensemen to the team. I don't care if you're 39 years old, as long as you're willing to accept a cheap contract like Lyubushkin, you'll be joining this team. So Lyubushkin, I'll do $1.5 million for 1 season. We're looking to win this season, and with contracts like that, we certainly should be able to. Oli Mata, you might not be a superstar by any means, but $1.2 million for 2 seasons, I can live with that. But now it's all about just having extra defensemen here. Like, we need a ton of extra defensemen. Alec, I'll bring you to the team, $1.2 million for 1 season. Why not? Thompson, I can do $1.9 million for the next 3 years as a 3rd pairing guy. That's a really good contract. Samuel Bolduc, this is an absolute no-brainer, except I'm going to do 2 years at $900K. So hopefully you can stick around. You're actually one player I would like to keep long-term. Gounet, I'll give you $1.2 million for 1 season. Did I say your name wrong? Probably, but that doesn't really matter. You can play some 3rd pairing minutes from me. And then we're going to finish off with one more deal. Zach Bogosian, welcome to the team. You're 36 years old, but you can play some 3rd pairing minutes for me. And after signing all those defensemen, maybe it wouldn't hurt if we had a couple spare forwards. So I'll bring Jamie Benn to the team. We'll do $2.3 million for 1 season. Like, we just have to be prepared in the event that something stupid happens and we end up trading basically all of our players away. Like we saw that last season with the defense. We don't want that same situation happening again. Evan Rodriguez, $2 million for 1 season. Anders Lee, here's $2 million for 1 season. And then our final move is for Tommy Novak, $1.8 million for 1 season. A stick on the ice legends back on the team. All right, so yeah, this happened. We're getting Malkin for $10 million. Not really what I want, but yeah, this basically just reminded me, we have to trade that medium league potential player away, because you have to trade our medium league potential goaltender and a 2nd round pick. Malkin, how old are you at this point? Because I feel like this isn't a good deal. I feel like we are getting finessed here really badly. He's an 85 overall. Please tell me he's only on a 1-year contract. Thankfully, he's only on a 1-year contract. So we're going to accept this deal, and we are immediately stopping and trading that medium league potential player away. All right, so we're going to trade Chara and Trent Frederick over to the Vancouver Canucks. We're going to get Bergquist. He's under contract for the next 2 years on his entry-level deal. Hopefully, when we trade for him, he doesn't end up getting traded away. But based on what we just got offered in Malkin, who knows who's really going to be sticking around here. I'm a little surprised this package isn't enough here. Do we have to do 3 third-round picks? I guess we do. But we're going to be getting a great player here, and we're going all out this season. So at least we're not losing one of our valuable defensemen, but we are going to be losing 1 depth defenseman. I think this man's only like a 71 overall, but considering how many defensemen we traded away last season, we need those 71 overalls. And there goes a prospect. We're going to pick up Connor Timmins, and we're also going to pick up Torpchenko. We're going to have enough players. When it comes to re-signing guys, we're not bringing anyone back. A prospect and a 3rd rounder is off to Edmonton for 2 4th rounders, and then another prospect and a 4th rounder is going to be sent over to Boston, and they're going to give us a 4th rounder and a 6th round pick. But why would the trades be done? Another one of our depth defensemen, a 71 overall who played a couple games for us last season, he's going to be sent over to Ottawa for a 4th and 7th round pick. So we're just flipping picks like crazy here. All right, so Tim Stutzel, Matthew Nyes, 2-minute on the top line, Seth Jarvis, Malkin, Pavel Zacha. I mean, truthfully, Malkin probably should play on the 3rd line, but he does give this line a +5 boost. But Malkin's only 83 overall. He's playing on the 3rd line here. The bottom 6 is in a good spot. The defense isn't too bad. Ignore the 3rd pairing and the fact that it's a -3 boost. Lyubushkin and Zach Bogosian will be traded at some point. I can almost guarantee that. And then when it comes to goaltending, Joey Daccord up to an 89 overall. Give bro medium league potential. What are we doing? He is an 89 overall, one of the better goaltenders in the game, and he only has starter potential. It's ridiculous. Let's bump that up. I don't mean let's give 2025 Joey Daccord medium league potential. I mean the fact that Joey Daccord right now is an 89 overall in the game, because we've simulated so many seasons, he should have developed from start potential to elite potential. Now we're almost 40 games into the season and we haven't been offered a single trade yet. We currently have a 28-8-3 record, but if we don't get offered any trades, that might not be the worst thing in the world. Like, the CPU's handling the trade block, they throw whatever they want on the trade block, But things are looking good for the Philadelphia Flyers right now. As long as something stupid doesn't happen in the next 10 or so games, we could be looking like a Stanley Cup favorite. Well, we finally got offered a trade here, but luckily it's basically a nothing trade. A third rounder for a sixth and a prospect. Now this is definitely the season that we're going to win it all. A 47-12-4 record at the trade deadline. No one can really compete with us right now. We haven't really been offered any major trades, so we haven't had to do any major selling quite yet. Tim Stützle, Tuominen, Seth Jarvis, Matthew Knies, Shane Wright, Malkin, Zacha, everyone's been performing great this season. When it comes to goaltending, Joey Daccord, we surprised at these numbers. 40 wins, 5 shots, and a 918 and a 246. Bro's been absolutely locked in here, and as long as he continues to stay locked in and we don't have to make any ridiculous trades, we're going to be bringing home a Stanley Cup. So we haven't been offered a single trade yet. I guess this is just going to be a tradeless season. Then again, we're kind of in a situation where we have so many guys that can't really be traded for. Like if you want to trade for one of our bottom 6 guys or something, you're going to have to offer a pretty decent package. Before we get to the end of the season though, we should check on some contract extensions, because I know we do have some decent young players, and I wouldn't mind keeping them around for next season in case we don't win this season. Like Gavin Brindley, I would like to keep you around. $800K for the next 2, that works for me. Cardwell, where are you going to be looking at? Probably going to be basically the exact same for you. We're going to do 2 years at $950K, so yeah, Cardwell's going to stick around as well. Justin Brazeau, where are you going to be looking for? We could probably do a cheap deal with you. You want 2.6, I can't do that. Toropchenko, what are you looking for? I mean, if we can re-sign these guys for pretty good deals, we'll do that, but it's not really looking like that. Rodriguez, you're going to be 35 years old heading into next season, so I don't want to do that. Tommy Novak, can I do 1.9 for 2 years? No, I cannot. So Novak's not going to come back to the team. Ryan Donato is going to leave. Honestly, that's not the end of the world. All right, Philly, it's time to lock in a 59-16-7 record. We had one of the best offense with the best defense in the entire league. We didn't have to make too many trades, and that worked out for the best. Tim Stützle, 83 points. Tuominen, 74 points. Seth Jarvis, 68. Scoring wise, we definitely did struggle a little bit this season. Malkin, 50 points, so I guess that wasn't the worst pickup in the world. Granted, he is an 81 overall. And do I want an 81 overall Malkin playing big minutes for us? I'm not too sure. Joey Daccord, 50 wins, 5 shots, a 919 and 248. Bro has been an absolute superstar since we brought him to the team. And you know what? I need him to put up some superstar numbers right now. We have the postseason coming up. We have the New York Rangers to take on first. Joey Daccord, I need a masterclass from you. Like, Philly has certainly struggled in the postseason, but you know what? That's going to end right now. Joey Daccord is going to put on a masterclass. We're going to score goals like crazy. We just allowed 5 goals and didn't score any in that game, so that didn't really age too well for us. But we do have a 3-1 series lead, and we're going to take the Rangers down just like that. We're going to take them down in game number 5. We're off to the second round. So we got past the Rangers. They didn't put up much of a fight, but now we get the rematch. The rematch we've all been looking forward to. The Pittsburgh Penguins and Philadelphia Flyers. Pittsburgh dominated us last time we took this team on, but things are different now. The Philadelphia Flyers are the best team in the entire league. Pittsburgh is not going to beat us here. We're going to lock in. A Joey Daccord shutout in game number 1 is going to set the standard. Yeah, no, we're not losing anymore. We are not losing. We're moving on to the conference finals. We're not stopping here. The Philadelphia Flyers are here to win, and they're here to shut down absolutely everybody. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs in the conference finals. I don't care who Toronto has on their team. We're going to take them down. We're winning the first 3 games. Stanley Cup final, just like that. The Philadelphia Flyers have a chance to win the Stanley Cup. All we have to do is win 4 more games. So it's 4 more wins for the Philadelphia Flyers. We win 4 more games. We're Stanley Cup champions. And we did exactly that. 4 more wins just like that. 3 straight sweeps. How many games did we lose? We lost 1 game in the postseason. 16-1. We were unstoppable. When the big time game showed up, that's when the big time players performed. Joey Daccord, an absolute masterclass. 14 straight victories for Joey Daccord. The team was incredible, and we were incredible by every metric. Shane Wright, 10 goals, 13 assists, 23 points. Seth Jarvis, 20 points. Zacha's picking up 18 points. So that second line was the big line for us. I'm happy that we had all these guys here. Tuominen, 17. David Jiricek, he's picking up 16. Malkin, 16. Owen Power, 14. The big time players performed, but not really, because Tim Stützle, 11 points. You were actually very disappointing. Matthew Knies, 11 points. You were actually very disappointing as well. But when it comes to goaltending, Joey Daccord, I'm not going to lie, I thought you had better numbers. 15 wins because Ville Husso is going to be picking up 1. You had 1 shutout, but a 905 and a 283. I am very surprised we won with those numbers, because those aren't superstar numbers, but you performed like a superstar. 16-1 the postseason for the Philadelphia Flyers. We won a Stanley Cup by completing every trade imaginable. We had to make some difficult moves. We know what those moves worked out for us. And just like that, the Philadelphia Flyers are Stanley Cup champions, and we won through accepting every trade.